As a day one station header, it is a sad day. Nicki Minaj has left Stationhead and denounced the app for using her likeness. So, if you are new here, please like the video and make sure that you subscribe to the channel with all notifications on so that you never miss when I go live or when I upload. And if you're watching this right now, then chances are you saw it already on Patreon. So shout out to you if you over there with me. So we're keeping up with Nicki or at least trying to, and this is important because it represents a new path that she may be forging. So she's been using the app. It's a streaming app called Stationhead, and Nikki has been using that app for a couple of years now, maybe like 2 years, to like go live, talk with fans, and stream her music. Okay, it was very instrumental in her rollouts, all the way from Super Freaky Girl to her latest album, Pink Friday 2, and literally anything that she has released at since that time. So the barbs were heavy on that app since maybe 2019. I didn't get in on there until 2021, and then I became heavily involved in streaming parties and a lot of stuff like that. And so and even that's where I started going live. That's where I started talking. That's where I started creating content, which is why I said it's a sad day for me as a day one station header. Okay, so let's get into Nikki's tweets, because I think most of you would understand where she's coming from, because you're probably a real like serious barb who keeps up with everything Nikki does on the app. So someone says Queen Radio is what the culture needs. We need the truth, and we'll never get it from any of these industry people. Now, if you saw my video on Fat Joe, whether you did or you didn't, it's coming or it's probably out. I'll link it below, because that's when she talked about bringing back Queen Radio. Okay, if you don't know, Queen Radio is Nikki's like podcast show that used to be on Apple Music. Okay, now Nikki has been through several apps such as Apple Music, Amp, and then Stationhead. Now, when she was on Stationhead, it wasn't an official deal like, oh, this is my Queen Radio. It was just like somewhere to go live to talk to fans and stuff like that. So the fan base has loved Queen Radio, and we want it back in a more official capacity. And we'll get into that towards the end of the video. And this video may be broken up into two parts, and the second will probably exclusively be on Patreon, and you'll probably understand why as we get there. So Nikki starts quoting people that are talking about Queen Radio. I wouldn't even be upset if Nikki stopped using Stationhead altogether to find a new home for Queen Radio. Stationhead is going to keep acting up because of who's attached to them. So she says Stationhead is dead. Delete your accounts and never use it again. And so now, this person is making it seem like Stationhead is owned by some shady figures or whatever. Now, if you know the history of Stationhead, Stationhead was founded by an independent artist, and they have investments from industry titans such as executives at Atlantic Records, and that is all I know thus far. Now, a couple of weeks ago, when I was actually live on YouTube, people were trying to tell me that Rock Nation bought Stationhead, right? And so I'm going to take you to this page, because this is where that rumor started from. It was started on June 20th. This is when this person tweeted this. This is a random barb account, random anonymous person on the internet. They said Rock Nation is now the official owner of Stationhead. They did this because a lot of barbs are so tired of Nikki on Stationhead, because that's where a lot of like not good things happen. Like the rants and the going off and stuff like that, and they hate it. So what they did was they made up this rumor so that hopefully Nikki would believe it and stop using the app. And then it spread like wildfire. 5.4 thousand likes. I saw it when it was just tweeted, probably around 100 likes or whatever, but it definitely made its rounds to the point where you guys were telling me about it. And I told you that it did not come from an official source. And unless it comes from an official source that Rock Nation is an owner or investor of Stationhead, then I will not talk about it and or report it. And it seems like, it's still, that's still the case. And so, but some barbs like to keep up this conspiracy theories, like because of who's attached to them. Who is attached to them? Like what? So then this person says, they quote what Nikki said, Stationhead is dead, delete your accounts and never use it again. So some of the barbs are rejoicing because they hate that app. So then they said the master plan worked after all, right? Because then what I told you, they was the one who put out the official rumor because they wanted the Nikki to stop using the app. So what happened? This is why you cannot believe everything that you see. You have to, and so they said, now let's hope we get back to Class C, scheduled and organized Queen Radio on Apple Music, that she doesn't move to that incel invested hole called kick. So yeah, like some barbs are rejoicing. Not to say I agree, I'm just telling you what they're saying and why it's happening, because bitch, I always know the tea. So So let's keep going on Nikki's tweets because she follows up and says, make sure you unsubscribe. Make sure you're not paying a monthly subscription. Now, even as a day one station header, I was never paying a monthly subscription because they did come out with a station head plus subscription because they offer the ability to use GIFs in their chat. So this is a GIF, right? Where it's like a motion picture, but it's not a picture, but it's not a video. It's kind of in between. So it's a GIF. And so, but in order to use these things, you got to pay $2.99 per month. And bitch, I ain't paying for shit. So I never paid for it. But there's a lot of barbs who pay for it because they like to put it in the chat and engage with Nicki while she's talking. So, don't forget you've canceled your subscription, $2.99, right? That was never me. Now, on the app, now, once again, barbs were very influential in the growth of Station Head even before I got on there. And so if you look on their branding on their app, like they definitely supported the barbs and used the barbs to promote their app. And so if you looked at it in the app store, you saw this, right? Which is the barbs channel, barbs talking to Nicki and stuff like that. But they don't like that. Nicki doesn't like that anymore because she doesn't want to use the app. She doesn't want anything to do with it. So she said, Station Head, please remove my face and that barbs channel that's been used to play other people's music because that's like a thing, like people who go live to play other artists' music or happen to play other artists' music or whatever. So it says any barb found on that app after today is a paid mole and blocked for life. We will need an official info on why seemingly only my fans' personal info was allegedly leaked. So yes, there was an incident a couple of months ago in May where Station had definitely suffered a breach, and they sent an email where a lot of Barb's emails were exposed and their actual names, like their real names, which is a breach of privacy, right? And so allegedly this only happened to one fan base, which is the Barb's fan base, but nobody knows why. Okay, so basically Nicki is now reposting people who are deleting the app and rating the app and leaving reviews. So it says leaking personal info. Stationhead has leaked many people's personal info and added them to mailing lists. I'm leaving now before my info was leaked too, if it hasn't been already. So Nikki quotes this and says allegedly, and give the rating that best describes your experience. Now, I'll save my thoughts on that. So it says, oh, we deleting that app that be having my phone heating up like a hot pocket. So this is one of the narratives that going around when Nikki started speaking up against Rock Nation, and then all of a sudden Barb's phones were overheating as Nikki would be on the app. But when you're on the app and Nikki has a lot of traction on the app, it could be a lot of people on there, which could overload the app, which is why you could be experiencing glitches or any technical difficulties. But a lot of people attributed that to some foul play that may have been going on behind the scenes. Once again, due to who Station Head may allegedly be affiliated with, but once again, there is no concrete receipts, right? And so Nikki said mine too, as in my phone was overheating as well. She said, I wonder why. Unsubscribe and delete. Post on every app so all the barbs know the play. Imagine us paying all that money a month and them thinking they use and abuse us. I love that certain people keep buying anything they think I give a fuck about, signing people they think I give a fuck about, buying blogs and podcasts, then begging around for money. Comedy, yet a tragedy. So I don't know if the tragedy was a reference to Nikki's diss track Tragedy that she dropped on Little Kim back in the day, not even trying to be messy, but as a barb who really be paying attention, like it's a callback, ragged, y'all already know. So it says, so yeah, like I don't know who was paying for that app. I'm sure a majority of people was not paying for it, whatever. But she said, so I love that certain people keep buying anything they think I give a fuck about, signing people they think I give a fuck about. So who bought something that Nikki give a fuck about? It like before Nikki even really started using Station Head, Atlantic had already invested in it. Y'all know that was Nikki's original ops, right? Even the executives from Atlantic who invested in the app, they no longer work for Atlantic because a lot of them got fired last year. But who knows? They still might have a connection. But once again, I'm not sure if there really is a concrete connection from Station Head to Rock Nation. Okay. So, but she's accusing her ops of buying things that are and apps that she gives a fuck about and signing people she gives a fuck about. So if we're let's say we're talking about Rock Nation here, who has Rock Nation signed that Nikki gives a fuck about? Let me know. She's been accusing Rock Nation Jay-Z of buying blogs and podcasts and stuff like that. And in our recent video, we talked about Jadakiss and Fat Joe having their new podcast. Once again, Jadakiss and Fat Joe are both managed by Rock Nation, and I talked about Rock Nation getting into the podcasting sphere. So that's kind of true there. Then begging around for money. Not sure what that refers to, but you get it. So then let's see what someone else says. Nikki, can you please get them to end the Barb's channel? There's so many people syndicated to it, and they can use it to push their artists to the Barbs that who don't know to delete and not use it anymore. She said, I've asked them several times, as you all are aware. Station head, this is your last warning before you end up in the paperwork. This is not a threat. Thank you for your immediate attention to this matter. Next. So she is warning station head to get rid of all branding that could be affiliated with Nicki Minaj and her brand and or the Barbs. So man, there's that. So it says a quick recap before our final goodbye. The Barbs definitely reached 100 million streams for Nicki on on the channel and stuff like that. And Nicki remained the number one person on that app because she is who she is, right? But there are other fan bases who are influential on the app. You just don't hear about them, like BTS and all of the Asian fan bases. They have way more numbers than the Barbs do, So yeah. So basically, Nicki's quote sister says, and still treated like shit by bookies. Now I definitely agree that Station Head could have made some adjustments and or updates to the app or whatever, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know if Nicki ever reached out to them directly instead along with reaching out publicly and stuff like that. So here is right here. Station Head is acknowledging that incident that I told you about where people's shit got leaked. So it says a test email was mistakenly sent today to a small segment of our community with emails visible. We sincerely apologize for the error. Our team has already taken steps to ensure that this does not happen again, as the privacy of our community is a top priority. So here they said a small segment of our community. Why was it allegedly a small segment? And once again, allegedly, it was only the Barb's fan base whose shit got leaked. Why? 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 I got that email as well, so I can attest to that. And that is a valid question. So Nicki says, so a test email went out where only the Barbs were affected, huh? Allegedly. Barbs, who owns Station Head? Go see. Station Head, you have until Monday to remove that Barbs channel and remove any and all promo using my name or likeness from the Apple App Store. Thanks. So that's a second warning. So let's see in the comments, like who and see when here's a screenshot of the email, right, that allegedly got leaked. So we're trying to see, like, I'm looking in the comments to see who is answering Nicki's question of saying who owns that app. So who owns the app? Once again, I'm not seeing any answers. All I see is people posting screenshots of those emails getting leaked. And that's valid. But who owns the app? See, this is the thing that I be talking about. People be spreading false information and conspiracies, like to get Nicki to believe it. And there's really no concrete proof or evidence. Not to say that it doesn't exist, but you would think that something like this would be reported on. Like if Station Head were to be bought out by Rock Nation and stuff like that, it should be reported on. And honestly, like I really kind of think like people are doing too much when it comes to this whole Barb's channel situation. Once again, as someone who was a day one on that shit, like people be doing too much. Anyway, so it says, I have no problem leaving Station Head in the past, but I'm kind of sad. The bittersweet feeling of being able to hear her voice when we needed it the most. Nicki says, that won't stop. Promise. You guys will still hear my voice frequently while I'm creating my brand new studio where I'll fly Barbs in sometimes like before. Maybe you'll even hear my voice today. Chin up, Buttercup. And that's when she then went live on Spaces. So allegedly, she's building a new studio where she'll fly Barbs in. Now, she did fly Barbs into an LA studio where the company Amp was based. That was from Amazon, and Nicki had to deal with them. And she did have some Barbs come in, namely Khalil, to talk to her. Woo! All right, so you guys let me know what you think about all of this. But once again, this is important in the business that we're talking about when it comes to just everything that's been going on with Nicki and Rock Nation and different apps. Because remember, she was trying to move to streaming platforms such as Kick or Twitch. So now here is the second part of the video, and we're going to talk about Queen Radio. So once again, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my platform. Let's jump right into it, because Nicki asked the Barbs where do they want Queen Radio.
With somebody say for. It's your girl Vina Love, the Harlem Princess, your favorite princess, and this is Destiny Delivered.
Period.